Hello and welcome to My Tales of Awakening. Just as the name implies, these are stories and experiences of my awakening journey. If you are here looking for advice or educational input or answers, I am so sorry to let you know that I don't have that. I am simply just sharing my new experiences as I work through them. With all of this, I'm really hoping that I find the souls that feel alone and that are just starting out. Because you're not alone. You're beautiful and it's a beautiful path. I cuss a little and I do smoke, and I have no advice to offer. So if that all bothers you, this is not a channel for you. I'm so sorry. I most sincerely hope that you find your tribe as I look for mine. And if you're sticking around, welcome. Make yourself comfortable. Make yourself a cup of coffee or tea, whatever you fancy. Buckle up and let's begin. All right, take number 37. I'm having a really tough time speaking today. I don't know, words are just the, they're not coming out the right way. So hello, everybody. I am in my parking lot. It is 5 a.m. I'm dealing with sinus issues, so bear with me. A couple weekends ago, I guess, I went down a documentary rabbit hole. It was calling me to watch a few documentaries, and to say they're interesting would be like totally understating things. One that I watched was about, the whole geometry and symbols and how everything ties in together. It was actually very well put together. I really did enjoy that. I've been called I felt a calling for sacred geometry. Have I dove down that rabbit hole? No, not yet. I will when the time is right. The second one I felt called to watch was actually about this gentleman that went to India in search of God. He was just down on his luck, and anyways, so he felt this calling to go there, and he went and talked to different religious groups just to see how those people found God. It was very, very heartfelt. It was very emotional. It really got me. It got me thinking a different way, even though I live, breathe kindness. Yes, I am human, and yes, I will judge, and yes, I catch myself sometimes having mean thoughts, and I try not to gossip and all of that mumbo jumbo. I really do, because I don't like gossiping. But when you're in an environment, a work environment that is quite poisonous, it kind of gets the best out of you. So anyways, I am consciously working on myself for that I will be honest, I walk in every day and I'm like, I'm going to be nice today. And sometimes I am, and sometimes not so much. But anyways, so this documentary, it took place in India. So I want to just kind of emphasize that again. But I set that aside. I watched that. I watched some on mediumship, and that was very interesting as well. So the house was quiet, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go take my bath. In the evenings, I like to take baths. Sometimes I don't have the luxury of time for it, so quick shower it is. But I like my saltwater baths. I really enjoy them. I light a candle, and sometimes I just go and I clear my head. Sometimes I go with intention of doing a meditation. I either self-guide myself or turn on a guided one, depending on the mood, depending on the headspace, depending on a lot of things, right? But sometimes I close my eyes and things just come to me. I really, really equate my bath time as portal time because some of my very, very best downloads and very best visions did happen in a bath. So it's really my sacred time. Actually, I should put aside some time today and do that, only because I feel so crappy. So anyways, in the last little bit, I've been trying to record meditations, guided meditations, because I find a lot of solace in guided meditations. And I've been writing them and trying to record them and it's very hard to record at my house, let me tell you, with 3 adults other than myself, 2 dogs, a bird, and a hedgehog. It is quite hard to find the alone time when the dogs are actually just settled in and not clinking and clanking with their little nails on hardwood floors. But anywho, so I had recorded a guided meditation for the Akashic Records, and I've been wanting to trial it because I like to test them out before I will do anything, before the whole full editing thing. And so I went in my bath and I put that meditation on. I went up the stairs. First I called in Archangel Michael, and genuinely I feel his presence, so I know he was there with me. Did the whole stairs thing and got into the Akashic field, talked to the guide there, and I asked genuinely about past lives to show me a significant past life. And this vision of me standing, it looked like a temple, and it was all white pillars. And I was in an Indian, I want to say like their outfits. I don't know. I can't think of the word. It's 5 a.m. Really, I'm still working on my coffee, so bear with me. And I thought about it and I'm like, no, this does not feel right. This is my mind. I know that this is my mind playing tricks on me because I watched this whole documentary about this man going to India. So I knew I was not in the right headspace to be in there. But I also knew that I was in there in the Akashic field, and I didn't want to be disrespectful. I really don't know how it works, but if anything, I really don't want to be disrespectful anywhere. So, and that will go same for the spiritual realm. So I thanked the guide over there, and I said, this doesn't feel right. I don't feel like I'm in the right place in my headspace. I will come back for this, but I am guessing today is definitely not the day for it, right? So I turned around, went down the stairs respectfully. I thanked Archangel Michael. I thanked my A-team. I tanked. Oh my God, thanked. Anyways, so I got out of there. Okay, respectfully, very, very respectfully, I did get out of there. And I'm like, okay, this isn't right. So I sat up for a second and I just, recalibrated myself, so to say. I don't know. And I laid back down and I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing any guided anything right now. So I'm like, you know what? Just focus on breathing and just be in the present. And I did that. I closed my eyes and I took a few deep breaths. And then a vision came to me. It felt familiar, but also like, what the hell? I was at a shore, and it was a boat, and I was on it, and there was a person behind me, and they got out of the boat and yanked me out of it. The water, like I was kneeling in the water, and it was like coming up to my thighs, I guess, and I can feel the water. Now, that could be because I was already in a bath, but I could feel the water. And I can feel this person's hands on me. And they put their hands at the top of my head, like at the crown of my head, and just like grabbed my hair. And I can feel this pulling of my hair and just dunked my head underwater and then pulled me up. At this point, I'm gasping for air, even though I wasn't physically underwater, but I can just feel it, right? And I gasped for air, and then they dunk me again. And it was like 3 or 4 times that I saw this. And it just kind of startled me out of the vision, because I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, wow. So then, like a realization, an epiphany, I guess, unfolded with that, because I have been unrealistically afraid of water all my life. I would go into, and I'm a weird creature, I guess, in a sense. I am okay with controlled water bodies. I am okay in a bath. They are my like sacred spaces. I am okay in private pools. I am somewhat self-conscious for public pools, I would say. I'm okay in them. Like, I don't panic in them, but they are, because they are controlled, right? But any open water, I'm talking rivers, I'm talking lakes, I'm talking sea, I'm talking ocean, any kind of an open-bodied water, I can go up to my ankles in, and that is my line that I draw. I do know how to swim. I am not afraid that, because I don't know how to swim. That is definitely not the case. I do know how to swim. I freeze. I panic. Now, I can honestly tell you, when my girls were babies, I signed them up for swimming lessons, and I'm like, yeah, they will go, because I don't want them to have this fear instilled in them. So I wanted them to grow up with water being their second nature, honestly, because I saw how debilitating it is for me. And like, I would sit at the sidelines and watch all these people have fun on, like, stand-up paddle boards, on ski-doos, on boats, on this, on that, or just swimming and splashing around. And I would envy them. And I would look at them and I'd be like, wow, that looks amazing. It looks like it would be fun. But I have this brick wall in front of me that is preventing me from having to do the same. I really, really honestly did try to overcome my fears. I made my husband buy kayaks for the girls. He ended up buying 4 kayaks, for heaven's sake. I told him not to buy one for me. And I genuinely tried multiple times, and it would end in me hyperventilating. We had a canoe before this, and I didn't like the fact that I wasn't in control, that somebody else was, paddling for me. And like I said before, and I'll say it again, I love my husband. He is very protective of me, and I know he wouldn't do anything intentionally to harm me, and he never really did. But I still have that fear, and it's like every time he moved, and if the canoe kind of shifted, I was like, what the hell? No, we're gonna, And his favorite question, it seems like every time we're experimenting with this, is, what's the worst that can happen? And I look at him like a deer in headlights, and I'm like, what's the worst that can happen? And he goes, no, really, what's the worst that can happen? You can fall in. That's it. You'll swim out. And he's like, that's all it is. You just fall in. And I'm like, that is the worst that can happen. I fall in. And he's like, what? Yeah, that's the worst that can happen. I can fall in. And that's it. Like, that is the worst that can happen. Now, I don't understand. I really, honest to God, do not understand my fear. So I kind of tied that with that. I don't know if it is that or not, but it felt right. It felt like a right answer. So I'm going to go with my gut, with my intuition, that is why. But I got out of the bath, and that feeling weighed on me quite a bit. I try to digest it. I try to integrate it. I try to whatever overnight. The following day, it was still quite heavy and present on my mind. And I know people turn to ChatGPT sometimes. Oop. Sorry, guys. My husband works midnights, and he just text messaged me. But anyways, holy crap, it's so hot in this car. So I turned to ChatGPT, and I typed in what had happened about the whole India thing and what I've seen. And let me tell you guys, that bitch psychoanalyzed me. Pretty much saying that I really need, like, psychiatric help. That's what I felt like, even though that's not what was being said. But they're like, you know, you use your discernment in the Akashic Records, yeah, you. But if you have any more of these visions or any whatever, I think it's time to put spirituality aside. That really rubbed me the wrong way. And I'm like, seriously, so first it was like, I was pissed off. But then I was like, am I like hallucinating all of this? Am I like schizophrenic or something? You know what I mean? Like the last few months, were they really a lie? So I was like, no, screw that. Like, and I know the veil is thinning between, you know, good and evil and all of that. And I'm like, they're trying to pull people away from spirituality, like, massively. And it's scary, really, because it really got me for a little bit, because I really doubted myself, and I really doubted all my visions, and I really doubted all the synchronicities and everything else that has been happening to me. And but I'm like, no, that's not right. So somebody told me to go into the settings and change the settings, that this was just the default setting. So I'm like, okay, I'll get a friendlier version or whatever. And I was like, so now she just agreed with me with everything. And I was just like, you know what? Screw off, so to say. Sorry, I don't mean to say that, but yeah, literally, like, I'm not even bothering with this anymore. So I went down a different rabbit hole. Yes, my friends. Now, I don't know any readers or any psychics in my area, and quite frankly, I didn't want to deal with that. I didn't want to set appointments and go over there and yada yada, and then pay so much money out of pocket for something that might be BS, because you don't know who you're dealing with. Maybe I'm just vulnerable and it shows on me or whatever, right? So I really didn't want to go that route. So I looked at my favorite YouTubers, and I went through their private accounts that, you know, where they offer their readings. And I'm like, yeah, they might be worth it. And they probably are, for real. Like, these people are just wonderful. I really resonate with them. But at the same time, I cannot justify the money on a whim like that. Like, I will one day probably pay for somebody's services as far as that goes, when I'm more in the headspace. But this kind of felt rushed for me. And I'm like, do I really want to pay $200 on this vulnerability that I'm feeling right now? And the answer was absolutely not. Even though, like I said, they are worth it. They are providing services that blow my mind. Like, they blow my mind. Like, I can tap into my own stuff, but how these people do that, I don't know. My hat is off for these people. Regardless, so I went on Etsy and I'm like, let me see what they have there, because somewhere I read somewhere that, there's readers on Etsy and you can get a pretty decent reading for a very decent price. So my friends, I found one that, I don't know, called to me, and I paid, I would say $20. It was like buy one, get one free, and it came out to like 20 Canadian dollars, which is like really peanuts. It was nothing. But to be quite fair, $20 is still $20, and I work for that money, right? So anyways, I put in my name and my birthday like it asks for. I asked a question about my husband because I'm still searching for answers as far as our past lives. And anyways, I get this, like, the first reading was about me. The second reading was my connection to him, right? So I was hoping that I would get something that will kind of like say, yeah, that's exactly what you felt, okay? So I just wanted some clarity. And within, I don't know how many hours, but it wasn't that lengthy of a time. It was a few hours for sure. I receive a message back with a portrait, like a sketch of what is, I guess, supposed to be me. Now, I see the similarities, I see the lines. I've seen this person before, I swear to you. Like, it just, I feel like I've seen the person before. But also, I know that it's like part of me is like very skeptical, and I'm like, was this sketched with AI? Like, and it very well might be, and it probably is, because I'm like, can't be this quick that she sketched this and wrote out all of this. So she did touch up on some past, like one past life scenario that feels very familiar to me, that I've had little blips and pieces and bits of in a vision. And that sketch really coincides with what I saw myself looking as. But it wasn't like it didn't hit. You know what I mean? Like, when you feel like it hit, but then again, I felt so skeptical and so like on warfare with AI at this moment, because I'm like, what the hell was that? And I'm like, did she use AI for this? Like, seriously? But then she like gave me a name, what my name was, and exact location of where I lived. Now, anybody can BS through that, but I found familiarity inside of what she was saying. But I felt this huge skepticism as well, right? So the following day, I'm like, all right, it was $20. I'm willing to spend 40. Okay, I'm willing to spend 40, and that is my like top. That's it, right? I kind of felt somewhat duped, but somewhat like, yeah, maybe there is a possibility. So I'm thinking, okay, I want somebody to say the same thing to me, I guess. So I found this other reader that for like $6-7 or no, it was like $5 or something. And I really did not put very much information in this. I just asked for like literally the most significant past life event. And as I'm scrolling through Etsy and I put that in my cart, I find another reader, and I went on his page, and there was like frequently asked questions, and one of them was, do you use AI? And he swears up and down, left, right, and center that he is not using AI. And I looked at the pricing and I'm like, okay, $5, $6, but for like a VIP full length, it's 15. And I'm like, perfect, that's within my price range. Okay, for the other 2 readings, it will be $20 again. So I send away for this. What I get back is the first one was complete AI bullshit. Like, it was, I'm sorry, people, if you're gonna use AI and sell your crap, reformat the bitch. I at least put in a little bit of effort to make it like not look like it was off of AI, like off of ChatGPT, because I can literally tell that that's what that was. The whole formatting, the whole emojis in there, everything, like it was complete AI ChatGPT crap. And it really, really hit me really hard. I was really pissed off by this. Like, it just, like, I felt so duped. And I'm like, $5. Even though it was $5, I mean, it's nothing. It really is. Like, it was nothing, but it's my $5 that you input into ChatGPT, and you gave me whatever it spit out. I have ChatGPT. I can do this for free. Thank you very much. Right? Do the work yourself, charge a little bit more. And, you know, I have no problem. But anyways, but you get what you pay for, I guess. So the other reading came through the following day. So it was like another, like, I don't know, 12 hours or so, 24 hours almost. And I'm reading this, and right off the hop, I'm resonating with what this man is saying. It really, really hit. And he was spot on. And he touched back on the 15th century as my first reading. Now, like I said, I put because I'm so skeptical at this point. When I was, you know, putting this in my cart, I was so skeptical that I put very, very little information in there. As far as his goes, it was literally my name, my birth date, and the only one and only question was, what lifetime did I meet my husband in? That's it. Like, literally, I did not put anything in there. And my God, you guys, what he wrote back, it wasn't, he didn't give me a specific lifetime when we met, but he did say that we have had many lifetimes together, and it just totally resonated with everything that I've felt so far, everything that I'm going through. And it's like, there's no flipping way, you know, what the heck I'm going through. Like, you don't know what I'm going through emotionally, and he just read it like a book. And now I went back and I just found it on my phone. Oh, I gotta open the window. It's really hot. I keep opening and closing it. But anyways, I'm gonna read a little short paragraph. It goes, the lifetime that it's rising most strongly is in the late 15th century in a coastal region of what is now southern Europe. I feel stone buildings, narrow streets, the scent of salt and olive wood. This was not a grand royal lifetime. It was humble but intense. In that incarnation, you met him young. There was a recognition that was immediate, the kind that quiets the mind and accelerates the pulse. You were not married long in that lifetime. Circumstances intervened. They may have been illness or conflict that separated you prematurely. The energy of that lifetime carries unfinished longing. That is why in this lifetime, connection feels deep, ancient, almost overwhelming at times. You are not only loving him in the present, you are completing an interrupted story. There is another lifetime layered beneath that one, further back, possibly in the 12th century. In that incarnation, the dynamic was reversed. He may have held a position of authority or social power. You were connected but constrained. The relationship may have been secret or socially complicated. That lifetime left an imprint of imbalance. You felt unseen in your full strength in this life. Your soul required equality. You would not have agreed to return together unless the dynamic shifted. The remembering visions you experience are fragments of these timelines bleeding through. Your soul is not confused, it is integrating. Why the connection feels so deep. Like now, this like honestly, I did not put anything of how the depth I felt or anything. And he goes, you and your husband share what I would call a braided soul path, not to inflame in the dramatic sense that oh my God, what is wrong with me? Destabilizes. Sorry, guys. Like, honestly, I cannot say my words anymore. This is steadier. You incarnate in proximity across cycles because your growth is accelerated together. There's also a shared karmic clearing around grief. I sense that in at least one lifetime you lost each other abruptly. The loss imprinted fear of abandonment in the cellular memory in this life part. Anyways, you guys, so he also touched on like the fact that when we are separated, and by that I don't mean like separated, I mean like he goes away, my husband likes to go hunting and fishing, and he leaves for a while, and I kind of hyperventilate, and what most people don't know is, and he didn't know this either for a long time, that as soon as he leaves, I kind of pack my emergency go bag because I anticipate the worst call ever. And if something happens, I want to be ready. I want to be packed that way. Kind of like, when you're pregnant and you have your hospital bag. Well, I do my hospital bag. So that way I can just go and go wherever he is at. And it's really sad to even say that, but there is no way this man knew this. And he touched on this, and he's like, yeah, you do this because, well, he didn't say anything about my bag, but he's like, it's debilitating when you guys are separated for periods of time only because in past lives you lost each other abruptly, and you have to try and integrate that and know that in this lifetime that will not happen. And that just like shook me to my core, because how does he know this? Like, how does one know this without me giving him information? So honestly, this man was a godsend as far as, and I will be returning for more readings. Putting some space aside and see what unfolds in my life naturally. And then I think I will pay for more of an extended read on the 15th century lifetime, just to see if it's so funny, because I always need confirmation. I don't know why, but it's like I have a hard time believing myself, and I know I got to work on that. There's so much I got to work on, and I don't realize I say this, and so far I've done how many recordings, and in every single one of them I've noticed that I said I got to work on that. So I'm pretty effing broken. But anyways, guys, I don't know. I hope my answers will come naturally. I hope things unfold naturally. And I also got to work on not trying to press the issue and chase things. I got to use my discernment. And it's so hard. It's so hard. It's so hard integrating new information that you receive, but at the same time, it's so hard letting go of expectations. But anyways, use your discernment. If you feel like that's not right, step out of it. I don't know. I don't know what the moral of all of this story is, but I just felt the need to document this and maybe share it with you guys, what my experiences were. Be careful with who you take on as a reader if you are doing that. Like I said, I was in a vulnerable state. I was looking for a quick answer. But anyways, I do feel duped by at least one of them. That one was just, what a crock of, But it is what it is. There is people out there trying to take advantage, and that's sad to say. It's sad to say. But it's funny because I was going to leave a review, but then I'm like, what if she like puts a hex on me or something? Isn't that stupid? But anyways, my friends, I gotta go in. I gotta do my 8 hours of hamster wheeling. I will be talking to you guys later. Thank you so much. Lots of love. Bye.